If the Prophet ﷺ had nothing but his presence, if he didn't recite anything, if he didn't say anything, you would look at him and you would already know that there was something divinely beautiful about him. And that's why you find all of these stories of people that embraced Islam just by looking at the Prophet ﷺ. Abdullah ibn Salam radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was the chief rabbi of Medina before the Prophet ﷺ arrived, when he went out to see the Prophet ﷺ, before he said a single word, he said, I looked at his face and I knew that this face, laysa biwajhi kadhab. This is not the face of a liar. The Prophet ﷺ is described in the Shama'il, in the books of description, from head to toe, alayhi salatu wassalam. And one of the ways that he's frequently described is as being more beautiful than the moon. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فخما مفخما يتلألأ وجهه تلألؤ القمر ليلة البدر. The Prophet ﷺ had an awe-inspiring appearance. His face was more radiant, more beautiful than the full moon on the darkest night. And when you think of the desert and how amazing and awesome and awe-inspiring the full moon looks in the desert, and you think about this narration of Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu, where he says that there was one night that I actually wanted to compare. I looked at the full moon, and then I looked at the face of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I asked myself which one is more radiant. And I came to the realization that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's face was more radiant, was more beautiful than the full moon in the desert. And the full moon is not just beautiful, it's so captivating you can't look at anything else. As for everything else about him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was perfectly balanced. With the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everything was perfectly set. He wasn't too tall, nor was he too short. His skin was not too light, nor was it too dark. He was azhar al-lawn. He had a bright skin color, but at the same time, the Prophet ﷺ was not pasty white. His face was not too round, nor was it too narrow, but it was closer to being round sallallahu alaihi wasallam.